I'm going to welcome everyone to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. I'll remind everyone that the meeting's being recorded. It will be available on the town's website in a couple of days. I'm going to start with the roll call. Chip Tarbell,
Here.
Dave Hatfield,
Here.
Joe Pride,
Here.
Kasumi Humphries,
Yeah.
Kirsten Brown,
Here.
Mit Patel.
Here.
Okay, with that, then I'm going to ask our clerk to read the legal notice for tonight's meeting. Joe?
Sure thing, Mr. Chair. Consistent with the governor's orders, extended certain provisions of the open meeting law. Every effort will be made to allow the public to view and/or listen to this meeting in real time. If you do not have a camera or microphone on your computer, you may use the follow dial-in number 1-301-715-8592, meeting ID 843-9428. 9414, passcode 7111096. Please use only dial-in or computer, not both, as audio feedback will distort the meeting. This meeting will be audio and video recorded in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. This location is accessible to people with disabilities. Wakefield provides reasonable accommodations and/or language assistance free of charge upon request. If you're a person with a disability and require information or materials in an alternate format, or if you require any other accommodations, please contact the town's disability coordinator, William Renault, town engineer, at 781-246-6308, as far in advance of the event as possible. Every effort will be made to grant your requests. Advance notification will enable the town to make reasonable arrangements to remove an accessibility barrier for you. 1. Continued hearings. 2. 26-13. Justin Charos, application for a determination and/or finding with respects to a continuation and extension of non-conforming uses under Article 9. Section 190-50 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw to construct an addition onto an existing dwelling. The property is shown as map 19, lot parcel 209 of the assessors map, and is located at 3-5 Middlesex Street. 3. 26-14. ML Water Street LLC, application for a variance under Article 13, Section 190-80 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw. From the requirements of Article 13 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw pertaining to signage, the property is shown as map 40, lot parcel 38FH of the assessors map, and is located at 442 Water Street. 4. 26-15. K&E Matthews Realty Trust, application for a modification of variance granted by the Board of Appeals related to property located at 7 Park Avenue and filed with the Wakefield Town Clerk on March 11th, 1988, and recorded at Middlesex South Registry of Deeds at Book 18979, page 92, requesting the elimination of the following conditions. 1. That the garage, when construction, not contained within any livable space to the extent of the variance, and 2, that the existing garage be removed within 1 year from the date of completion of the new garage. The property is shown as map 7, lot parcel 9931A of the assessors map, and is located at 7 Park Avenue. 5. 26-16. Marcos Arado and Solomir Arado, application for a special permit pursuant to Article 4, Section 190-22 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw for relief from the requirements of Article 6, Table 2 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw retaining to accessory dwelling unit, including but not limited to setbacks, and to the extent necessary, site plan review for said accessory dwelling unit. The property is shown as map 2, lot parcel 04E of the assessors map, and is located at 148 Parker Road. Board of Appeals.
Thank you, Joe. Earned your money tonight as clerk.
Thanks.
To start off, I'm going to use the chair's prerogative. I'm going to pull something up from other matters because it will relate to hearings that are going to be continued. So under other matters, we have discussion of amendment to Chapter 550 Zoning Board of Appeals rules and possible vote regarding the same. it was my initial intent to take on a larger vote to possibly change the nights of our meetings, and to offer that out to members. There's a small wrinkle in that. So what my intent tonight is to work with members to change the advertised meetings for October, to delay them a week, and to identify the dates for our November meeting, which we only meet once a month in November and December, and to identify the dates for November and December. So with that board, I was thinking about moving the meetings in October back a week. They were originally scheduled for October 8th and then October 22nd. If folks are okay moving it a week back, I'll be looking for a motion to move those dates to October, from the 8th to the 15th and from the 22nd to the 29th. I consulted with town council. All it has to be is a very simple motion to move those two dates. As it relates to the meetings in November and December, folks will know our practice is to tentatively schedule those because they're around the holidays. And this year we have marked down November 12th and December 10th. Those work for me, but I wanted to check with others to make sure that we have a quorum for our meetings in November and December. Once again, November 12th and December 10th. I'll throw it out to board members to see if they're okay moving the October meetings back. We need a motion to do that. We do not need a motion if we're not moving our tentatively scheduled meetings on November 12th and December 10th. And again, having consulted with town council, it's a very simple motion for the October meetings. Dave, I see your hand up.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, no issues moving the October ones. I'm happy to make that motion if pending other board members' comments. I was wondering, again, just spacing things out and knowing when we might end up then meeting in January. November 12th is 2 weeks after the October 29th, potentially, and then December is like a month, right? It's like a month, and then January is like another month. So I'm wondering, would the 19th and 17th be better? Or are they getting too close to the holidays? I think that the 12th and the 10th would normally be our second second Wednesday of the month. But I'm just trying, I looked at the calendar and tried to space things out and see, for applicants and for us, like what was a more reasonable spacing of meetings. That's all. So
Yeah.
I'll just throw it out there. I could go either way. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah.
All I'll say is personally, I couldn't, the dates that I can make in those Wednesdays in November, December are the dates that we have tentatively scheduled. If we move them back a week, I could not attend, which is fine. Jill can certainly chair the hearing. So that's why I'm throwing it out there. I got to make sure that we have a quorum. It's not so much me, but we have to make sure we got voting members, especially for these continued cases that we have.
Okay, because the
So would you-
19th would be the third Wednesday.
You're
So
right.
you couldn't make the third Wednesday, or you couldn't make the second Wednesday? I just want to be clear.
The only Wednesdays I'm available are the ones that we have tentatively scheduled.
Okay.
I don't know that we need to reschedule what we've already scheduled. I think we can certainly move the October ones to meet your schedule. I have no commitments on those days. To me, I've left Wednesdays open, so I don't have any other meetings on Wednesdays.
I'm the same with Chip. I'm fine with.
Me too.
Sure.
I'm okay with any the
Right.
October, November, December.
Okay, Dave, can you make them? Because while I
Yes, I
am
can.
worried about applicants, I'm more worried about quorum at this point
And
Understood.
voting members on.
on certain cases
Yeah.
that have attended enough meetings on cases that have been
Right.
going through.
That's
I can make them.
that's why
As I
we-
said, it was just a matter of spacing, and then
I hear you. it's a
Yeah.
very valid point.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Um,
I can make them,
Mis-
so I'll put it to bed. I'm fine.
Kirsten,
Chair,
how you doing? No, I'm sorry, Joe, go ahead.
just to be clear, the October, it was supposed to be 8 and 22. You're pushing them. You say every time you say pushing them back, I feel like you're bringing them backwards, but you're actually pushing them to you're pushing them to the
8th will be now on the 15th, and the
15th. So you're pushing them
22nd would be on the 29th,
29th. So you're pushing them forward in a way. All right, I get you.
Later, whatever term works for you. Joe.
later.
Yeah, I know. I was getting confused by pushing them back. I thought you were making them earlier, but that's fine. All right.
Because on those two, Joe, to Dave's point, we got to spread out a little bit for our applicants. And we've got to give Amy time to give the appropriate public notice and figure all the stuff
No, that works.
she needs to make.
Pushing them. That's fine.
And then what are your thoughts after December, Mr. Chair?
I think we'll have time in our October meetings if we can nail down our schedule for the end of the year, we'll have time. As long as we lock them down by the end of October, we won't run into any notice or any issues like that.
Okay.
Because as I looked at there's two parts of that. You know, there's the dates that we got to let Amy set out a schedule. There's some other minor things in our rules that we might want to update with the dates if we do change those. So
look at all the rules and then
take a look at, and if there's some we can't get to, if there's some easy low-hanging fruit on some of the rules that need to be changed, we might want to just do it all at once.
are you thinking of like 27 copies of this and that?
A bunch of other.
We have
has
a
to-
lot of stuff in the rules, yeah.
When, at the end of Dave's term as chair, we had started to take them on. But if you recall, when I took over, those 240Bs on the Hart Street sucked all the oxygen out of the room and we never got around to it.
Right.
There were a few things from Attorney Mullen that he thought, because he represents Linfield too, and they had done theirs over and he suggested some things. And again, we had started the process, but as Tom said, we just didn't get there. So we'd probably just dust them off,
Yep.
discuss them in public hearing and agree on them. And if we're all good, and some of that might be, whatever, adjusting dates, adjusting some other things. There was a zoning administrator thing. So there's a few things probably that we can
Yeah. And if
kind of clean
it's
up. They were last updated in 2000. So there's a few things that probably could be done.
Yeah, and if there's bigger things, we don't have to take them all on once. We can just take, like I said, the low hanging fruit, with the dates and stuff. So
Yep.
We have time to get to all that though. So.
Yep.
All right, Kirsten, I was going to ask you, you all set with those November, December?
I can do November, December, and I can do the October 15th. The only one I'm conflicted is October 29th.
Okay. Mitt, how are you?
I'm fine with all the 4 dates. I can make all of those.
Okay. Well, why don't we try to roll with that? And then, so Dave, I guess I'm looking for a motion.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move that we change our scheduled meeting dates for October from October 8th to October 15th and from October 22nd to October 29th.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none, regular voting members. Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Kip,
Yeah.
Kasumi,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So Amy, I'm sure you're listening, so we're going forward with November 12th and December 10th as tentatively scheduled. So you can put those notices out there.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right.
Have the message.
Got, going back to the regular agenda, as is our practice, if we've had a couple requests for continuances, we'll read those in. So if folks are here for those matters, they can move on with their evening. First one's a letter from Attorney Brian McGrail dated today on case 2511 35 Stark Ave. Please continue this matter to the second meeting in October. Attorney McGrail met with the building inspector last week and needs a little more time to resolve this matter. He anticipates requests to withdraw his client's appeal at that time. The applicant and his attorney have also agreed to extend the time for the board to render and or file any decisions regarding this matter until and including December 31st, 2025.
Mr. Chair, I move that we continue the matter at 35 Stark Avenue to our October 29th, 2025 meeting and accept the applicant's request to extend the time for the board to render any decision on this matter to December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Hearing any further discussion? Not hearing or seeing any further discussion. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip. Chip, you're muted.
Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
I vote yes. That matter is continued to October 29th. Next up is a letter also from Attorney Brian McGrail dated today regarding case numbers 26-1, 26-2, 26-3 at 50 Corner Powart Parkway. Please continue this matter until the first meeting in October, as they are working on revisions requested by the board.
I'm just going to double check my dates. 15th. Okay, that's the first meeting, right? Okay. All right, Mr. Chair, I move that we continue the matter at 50 Corner Powart Parkway to our October 15th, 2025 meeting.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yeah.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. That matter is continued. All right, next up then, case 2521, 2522, 154 Salem and 158 Salem. I believe I saw Attorney McGrail on the line here somewhere.
Here, Mr. Chair, logging on right now. Thank you. May I proceed?
Yeah, please do.
Thank you. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail representing the applicants L&L Development LLC and Wakefield Salem Street LLC regarding the properties at 154 and 158 Salem Street. It's been a little bit before since we've been before the board on this, and we did want to advance a couple of things forward and keep you up to date on what's transpiring. You might recall about 3 weeks ago we submitted revised plans. As you know, we've reduced the unit count here from 13 to 8 attached dwelling units. In doing that, every time we make changes on the site, it causes a redrainage analysis, etc. So Williams and Sparagus has been working hard on that. We submitted updated plans to you and the town engineer, updated stormwater management plan report. And also we had some revised architecturals because some of the changes on the plans require a little bit of changes in the back of the units that we'll get into as far as how they're the patios in the back. But in any event, what I'd like to accomplish tonight is to just first have Troy Reinhold from Williams and Sparagus walk you through the changes in the site plan to date, and also then have Nurgis Bunellis, who's our architect, lay out the architectural changes that we have made, many of based on comments that you've made in the past. I will say that we're not quite there yet because you do not have a memo from the town engineer. He's reviewing all of this. He has a few questions of us that we need to get to him later this week before he can issue a memo to the board. So we're working with him per his request on that. I'll also say that our neighbors, as you know, involved on Nablus Way, they're represented by attorney Kevin Geeney, who's on the Zoom, and I've been working very well with Kevin. Through their engineer, they raised a couple of concerns on the revised site plans that we submitted to you, that we think we can make some adjustments that they've requested to accommodate their concerns for drainage on their property. So the plans will have to be updated in that regard also. So we're kind of working in unison to make sure that as good neighbors, we address any concerns that they have. So that's an open issue that we're working with them on. And that's kind of in sync with the town engineer as far as drainage goes. So, and then the last thing I'd like to do is tell you what we're thinking about for lighting on the street leading in and within our project in the driveway, some pole lighting, to give you an idea of what my client has come up with that, but I can deal with that, at the end. So if I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to hand it over to Troy to have him share his plan and provide those updates again, subject to change as we continue to move forward.
Please proceed.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Hello and good afternoon, Mr. Chair and board members. I'm just going to share my plan here, if that's okay with you.
Yep, please do.
Can everyone see that?
Coming up.
No, not yet. There you go.
Okay, I'm just going to run through the engineering changes that have happened since the last meeting. We'll start off first with the stormwater system. There's 4 stormwater systems here on the lot. We have a detention pond, an infiltration pond, and 2 chamber systems. Couple minor modifications. This chamber system here was pulled away from this wetland line to meet the 50-foot offset, as well as this system here was pulled 50 feet from this wetland line. And this chamber system here, we added a couple more chambers to accommodate the loss in volume from this infiltration pond here. This pond here, we propose to be lined because it's within the 50-foot buffer zone to the wetland. And that's about it there. We added some topography along the butter line as requested by the abutter. As you can see on this plan, it just runs along the property line. The couple of changes to the utilities here. We propose to add the septic or the sewer to connect directly into this existing sewer main here off the back of the units 5 through 8. You can see them run diagonally there. So that frees up some more space as requested for any future repair or anything in this area here, as it's pretty congested. We also propose to bring the water line to the front of each unit. Before units 1 through 4, the water line had run along the back. And that's it. And the patios in the back of units 5 through 8, we were asked by the town engineer to take them out of the sewer easement. So that's why they have this shape here, running right along the sewer easement. There were a couple transformers added, kind of unrelated here, but it's along Timberwood Circle. It's very faint.
Can you perhaps zoom in? Troy?
Yes.
Just might help for aging eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yep, right along Timberwood. Let me know if you can't see anything else too. I can always zoom in. A couple
So
of details. Yep.
Quick question. Do you plan to screen those?
To screen.
Be the landscaping, fencing?
Not on the street, Dave. Those are on the street coming in. I'm sorry, Tom, those are on the street coming in.
Okay.
Those are in the subdivision. Those are like the typical transformers you see in subdivisions on property lines for both houses.
Yep. Okay.
They're pretty small.
Also, we added a couple details of the 2 retaining walls here. I'll zoom to sheet 9 so you can show. So we can see the 2 walls here, retaining wall A and retaining wall B. And this is in relation to that system that runs, abuts pretty close to that wall. And also we added
Troy, what is that material? Is that a poured concrete wall?
Yes, it is.
So how are you going to face it? You're not going to just leave poured concrete facing your neighbor, right?
We're open to anything, Chip.
It's got to be faced with something.
Okay, we were thinking of doing planting, but we can face it. We can talk about that.
Or plantings. But I would-
Where is it specifically? Can you just like?
I would tie it into whatever you're doing out at the front of the unit.
This is retaining wall B here. It's that darker gray, and then retaining wall A runs along here.
Right now, it's faced with fieldstone on the front and the top.
And
And
what
then the
about
backside was left open, and we were going to propose maybe doing some sort of vines or something to come up and grow over time. We thought that might be a better look, but I guess we're open to options there on however that side would be faced.
Yeah, I think you've got to do something. You can't leave just poured concrete facing your neighbor. That's kind of like putting the bad side of a wooden fence towards them.
How tall is it? It's got to be sticking up.
Well, in this case here, this is about 8 feet here. This one, they're about 8 feet max. I mean, you'll be able to see on this detail. Sorry for
Tall wall.
They're big.
yeah.
That's a lot. It's like Jill.
They're big. You know, it's like a block wall. I don't necessarily know that it needs to be fieldstone, but there's lots of different ways to take care of concrete these days.
Mm-hmm.
And they're tall because of the topography and
Correct.
Well, you said facing your neighbor, Chip. Is there any neighbors there? Or is that just woods it's facing?
Well, there's a manufacturing building that it's basically abutting on the driveway side. Right out
this way.
to,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so wall
Yeah,
A faces the industrial building, and then wall B on the other side faces the wetlands.
Yeah, and I'll talk to Attorney Gini, who represents, and he's on tonight, who represents the neighbors up above. We'll see what they want. Because they're the ones that will look at it. So
and people are parking right towards it. So
yeah, we're happy to accommodate. So we'll talk to them and see what's appropriate from their eye.
Okay, and finally we have just a couple snow storage areas. They're clouded, kind of all over the place, but if there is any excess, it's proposed to be trucked off site, and that will be part of the homeowners association.
And the O&M plan.
Yep. That's it for me.
I guess my first comment is I'm concerned about the patios jammed on the back of these units now based on the sewer easement. They just look strange to me.
What are their dimensions right now? Is it?
You can table that I think when you see it on the architectural plans, it's gonna read better. Just kind of, they're kind of unique the way they fit in. We felt we could put them on the easement. We don't think there's a restriction on it. Town engineer doesn't want them because he's concerned if they ever have to access that. And, they'd be, even though they would have the right to do it, they would have to rip up people's patios.
I'd rather say, yeah, okay. Rather than have these weird shaped, non-dimensional patios obscure. I mean, because you can't plant or anything else on that other than grass. So, I mean, I think I'd revisit that with the engineer again and have that be owner's risk. Unless he thinks it's a hassle. I mean,
he was pretty adamant about it, but we can revisit it with him. But I think when you see it on the architectural plan, it might change your mind, because just looking on a flat plan like this is,
We did mention that to the engineer that we would take full responsibility of it, and he still didn't really want it on there for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm with Chip. Yeah, I'll take a peek at the architecture, but the odds of having to get in there, whatever. So
I don't think the odds are gonna be great, because I think he's gonna make us replace that pipe too. So it's gonna be a brand new pipe.
Right.
And Nerijus Lubnaris here from KDI. If for the purpose of this conversation, if you want, I can show the architectural view.
As long as folks are done, board members done with everything else? As it relates to the presentation we just saw?
Think so.
Yep, for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so just to the applicant, anticipating potentially more changes, or do we think this site civil is
No, it's,
close? Like, because you're still open with Concom, or like?
yeah,
so
we're
it
open with
could-
Concom, we're in town engineer's gonna have some comments.
With the stormwater,
And
yeah.
there's gonna be some as I told you, the abutters has requested changes, not in the logistics of the site, but where drainage pipe location, to reduce potential impact of their property that we're gonna accommodate. So I think it's gonna be more infrastructure stuff that's really not gonna be, with all due respect, of concern to the board. Because it's really just kind of drainage related on the perimeter. So those are the types of changes I think you'll see at this point, Dave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think, let me just see if I have this, because I think I can just, I'm gonna open up the landscape plan, because this might show the patios a little bit better before you get off of this. No, it doesn't. We'll wait for the architecture. It doesn't.
Okay.
Be wasting your time with it.
All right, well, we move on then. And then within that presentation, we can look at the patios.
They're just you, right?
So, yes, good evening, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Neris Bubnalis from KDI Architects in Somerville. I'm gonna share the screen and let me know when you can see it. So I have some slides that I'm gonna kind of skip through, and I'm gonna focus on the ones that addresses the changes. I'll be brief because not that many architectural changes. You guys can see the screen?
We
Yep.
can.
Okay, great. So this quick aerial view, and then we zoom in on this the look of the from the driveway. So one other change that was added compared to the previous plan was we connected the previously proposed sidewalk on the circle and other properties in the front with this sidewalk along the unit number 1. As well as previously mentioned patios, now just following the line of diagonal line of the sewer easement. Here's another view showing that walkway connecting this development, this previously mentioned wall, retaining wall on both sides. And then in terms of materials, nothing changed from previously presented. A couple other views where I can actually focus on few requests from the previous meeting, like unit numbers now added. We added sort of like a lantern type fixtures at the porticos. And another view from the entrance towards this 8-unit development. On the interior of the buildings, here's the view of those patios in the back. So I'll explain a little change on that. That's pretty much the only view that changed, and it was basically based on the fact that we had to move the patios from one side to another of the unit. So we moved the balconies on the other side, sort of like a mirrored program in the basement. So we can have bigger patio area for each unit. In terms of changes on the floor plan, this is typical basement that did not change on the units 1 to 4, and here's the units in the back. So we just had to change the location of the bedroom versus the family room so we can have a walkout to those patios. Patios are pretty, pretty good size for just a different shape.
Do you know the approximate
And-
dimensions of them?
I can look if I have. Yeah, we don't have, I will have to provide it later, but, or I can look at the model when we're gonna wait for the comments, but,
Just to get a sense of how deep those are, is that they going out 10 feet, 15 feet?
I believe they are similar to what we had before. Let me just look at the previously presented.
Troy, maybe you can scale those on your plan, I don't know.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, so I'll continue then with the architecture. So on the other floor plans, pretty much nothing changed. We just cleaned up some previously mentioned comments. We had some drafting errors, some fixtures missing, but we fixed those. I believe so these views did not change except sort of like an overall view of those patios in the back. And I think I'm just gonna leave it here and look for comments. And if you want, I can zoom up on some areas of the project. Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
like-
Any questions or comments from the board? Kasumi?
Thank you for adding the numbers and then the lanterns, the light fixtures. Can you make sure those light fixtures are high up enough? Because it looks like that's gonna be the first thing the tenant is gonna break when they move in. It looks a little low.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll make sure it's practical. Maybe in the rendering.
And then I think I made a comment. I still think the laundry room door, it's a little bothering me. It looks very like tight for the laundry room. I don't know if you looked at the pocket door instead.
We can look into it. Or we can swing out this direction so we can fully open.
Okay. And then my last thing is I saw you added the dining tables and kitchen. That looks very tight. Yeah, that looks very tight. Can you do me a favor when you place the furniture, make sure the edge of the chair is like 3-4 inches away from the edge of the table. So that's how you can see like when somebody's sitting on the chair, like how the circulation works around it. Just make sure it works.
Okay.
That's my comments. But thank you for picking up some of the comments.
Great, thank you,
Thank
Kasumi. Anybody else?
If I may, the patio comes out 14 feet and runs about 24 feet long.
Yeah, there's just a piece of it that makes no sense to me as it goes beyond. You can't see on these because these have normal patios, but as it goes beyond the corner of the building and kind of darts back, and I mean, what's yeah, towards the window. I mean, what's that ever going to get used for? I think I don't think I think you got to really rethink the size of these things. Because 14 out by 24 long, what's really going to get used over in that far left-hand side of these patios as it darts back to the window? I'd square it up. If it has to be at a weird shape, I'd square it up with the corner of the house. Would be my opinion. And I think the other thing to remember about with Katsumi's comments, although you've placed furniture, you know, people buying these things, who knows what furniture they're going to use or what size tables they're going to use. So although it may look tight conceptually, I mean, I wouldn't even show these with furniture. I would just show them as square footage because who knows what people are going to do.
What if you connected all the patios? Would that make no sense? Because then they would be touching the neighbors. Just connected that whole line across. And
But at some point, they've got to figure out how they're going to create separation from these patios, right? If you look at the other side, each patio has a nice break. I mean, I know, yeah.
Sorry, I can go back.
But like, see how this patio goes back to that window under the balcony?
Yeah.
What does that space really do? What's that going to get used for other than nothing? I'd rather see plantings or some sort of break between the patios there to give. Like that one doesn't even have it. Yeah, you put the red line in. That's what I'm thinking. And then you put a couple arborvitaes or put something along there to at least give it a visual break so that it's a little squarer.
Okay.
This would be my thought. You can aid and assist it a lot with landscaping back there, but it's disappointing that those things are going to be that shape.
Or convince the town engineer that we can square them up, give them more usable space out there. But
We'll revisit with him.
Yeah.
Right, he was pretty
Yeah.
adamant.
I know, but if you're getting a new pipe, and what's it going to be? 100-year pipe? So what are the odds? Owner's risk, right?
I'm with you. We love the town engineer. We appreciate all the work he does and helps us, but he doesn't vote on this board. So,
So, Mr. Chair, if I may just interject one more thing. I was checking my notes from the last time, I think it was in May when we got some updates. One of my notes in there said, met with the fire department, need a hydrant on lot 3 and cul-de-sac. Was that reflected on the plans we got, these later plans? I just want to make sure we close that with them.
Troy, can you bring your plans up? I think it is.
We haven't seen the last civil plans, have we?
These are what we have on the screen tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if these
We were
reflect that.
waiting to get comment back from the.
Oh yeah, these aren't final, but I think we've already inserted the fire hydrant that Dave's talking about, just to check the box on that.
Yep.
It said hydrant on lot 3 and cul-de-sac. So I don't know if he said we needed 2 or just 1 and got to locate it properly. I don't know.
So he wants 2.
Yeah.
One's there, Dave, on lot 3. See it? And one's there on the
I'm
cul-de-sac.
trying to follow the hands. So where are we?
Can you blow it up, Troy, please?
Yep.
Hydrant.
So right by unit 1 there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And then on the cul-de-sac here.
Okay. Got it. All right. So that I can cross that one off. Thank you.
Where's the note for granite curbing on the landscape plan?
Yeah, it must be,
or it will be.
or it will be.
And then, of course, we'll need to see the material for the patios as well.
If I could take my screen, please, Troy.
Right, you had lighting, Brian, is that
Yeah,
what you had shown?
yeah, this is pretty quick. So, Nick, I can share my screen, but can you tell the board, because you've kind of taken the ball on this, because Nick is very particular with this. He really wants us to look nice. So he's taken the ball with dealing with lighting companies. So first I'm going to share, and then Nick can tell you, what he's done on this as far as who he's talked to and with the light department and private companies, et cetera, because we talked to the light department on what they have. And well, let me see if I can find that, because we first what they were proposing that was not very exciting. Let's see. One second, almost there. Yeah, I can't find them. They were proposing a typical street light, which would not excite the board. It was not attractive. And then we talked to them about the Albion street lights, which would, would just, this is what we talked about. What was an option, and we just, these are just too fancy for a street. They're made for downtown and in commercial districts. So one of the concerns that the light department has is if you go outside their box, then you've got to take responsibility for the maintenance of it, which we're willing to do with our homeowners association. So Nick Leo then went on a search with different companies, and this is what we've come up with. And then Nick will tell you what the process was with doing that. Let me just open this up. So first of all, what we're thinking about as far as locations go, to balance it, is it will be consistent. So not, as far as the lighting goes, as I mentioned, the light department would do the typical, poles with the half moon hanging out into the street, which, it just doesn't go in this neighborhood. So what we're proposing to do, and we have a lighting company that'll be doing, a lumens plan, et cetera, is 4 street lights on the street and then 2 extending in here. This is the light fixture that we're proposing, and I'll kind of show you how it looks with a pole.
What height poles, Ryan?
15 feet, Chip.
Yeah.
So this would be the decorative pole that will go with the light. So Nick, can you kind of give a little history here on your endeavor on this whole thing?
Yeah, so we kind of set out, we're looking for a nice pole for the street. I think originally we were actually only thinking maybe like 1 or 2 lights for the street. And, after talking to the light department, everything they had was, 18 feet, 20 feet, and kind of didn't really seem like it would really fit the character of the subdivision. So I called a bunch of different street lighting companies and kind of dug my way across the country and kind of ended up with a company back here called Spec Lines. And they were very, very helpful in suggesting some different lights. And this is kind of what they came up with. And long story short, they actually do supply the other lights to Wakefield and all sorts of the other towns around us. But what they are suggesting to use is this. It's a kind of like a historic type light. It's very durable. The lantern starts at the 13 feet, so it wouldn't be more than about 15 feet, which we think would fit very well with the character. And after sending the plan, he is actually the one that kind of laid out 4 on the street, which was more than I think any of us anticipated. But after further review, we're like, oh, that could actually look really nice. And then he included 2 additional on the driveway into the townhouse units, which no one had really even thought of or considered. But after kind of looking into it, we think it would be really nice and kind of tie the whole road into the townhouses in the back. So what we've come up with now is, these 6 lights, and we think it would be just a really nice fit for the way the architecture of all the houses come together and tie the street into that driveway very nicely.
And you'll have to buy them, right, Nick?
Yeah, so we'll have to buy them.
What's the cost?
They're about $5,000-$6,000 a piece. So it's going to be a lot more than most people would want to spend on street lights. But just everything out there that was shorter or even less expensive, I just didn't really like the look of it. So this is a very similar light that's actually being proposed on Comm Ave right now. It's in the running to basically be going up and down Comm Ave in Boston. So it's a very classy, durable, strong light.
And
So I
are
think it
they,
would look great.
Nick, did you learn about dark sky compliance? And are these that?
These are not full dark sky compliance, but he did say something about that I could probably pull up. Because of the shade on top, it's almost nothing to the sky.
And Nick, is he gonna do a lumens?
Yeah. Yes, he is gonna do a lumens plan, which we should have next week. So the guy was away this week, so he couldn't perform any of that.
So we'll present that when we have it.
But we think it was a nice addition to the back as well to add it on to the lot.
And how's that work with the light department, Nick? Do they require us to maintain them?
He basically he's approved the lights, and he said that at this point they would probably maintain them as well. So
So
he was very happy with it. And he even said, you know, down the line, once he shows people these lights, they're probably going to want to put them all over the place. And they have a
Okay,
great relationship with the company we're getting them from, so they'll have easy accessibility to get anything in the future if they need to.
All right, any other questions, comments from board members?
Well, good.
Okay. If you could just double check on Chip's question on being dark sky compliant, that'd be appreciated when you come back with a lumen study.
Yep.
And then
Is that,
the other question I had is, are you tying the lights at the entrance of the doors of the units in some sort of way to be characteristically consistent with these? Are you carrying that look at the entranceways?
Yes, that's the intention, kind of have it all. And I actually talked to the architect yesterday about trying to make sure all of the lights outside kind of are in sync too. We'll probably put them on some sort of photo sensors or something too, so they'll create light throughout that whole inner kind of area where the parking and driveways are.
okay, anybody else? Is that the entirety of your presentation tonight?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any other comments, questions from the board before I throw it open to the public?
I'd like to just make one more comment on lighting. So if we're going to
Yep,
have
okay.
lights at the front entrance, we need to know what if there's going to be lights out on the patio. We need to know if there's lights at the garage doors, right? Flooding the garage doors, any exterior lights. I think we need to know about. It certainly doesn't seem to be that we need any lights within the stone walls now that these lights are 2 in the cul-de-sac and 2 on the roadway down. I think that will light the sidewalk plenty. But I would like to see a lumens study.
Yep. Hey, anybody else?
Nope, but I would agree with Chip. It's typical. Anything like this, we'd see samples of all the lights and their specs. And so we all know what we're getting at the end of the day for all exterior lighting. So good point, Chip.
All right, with that then, I am going to open it up to the public. Is there any member of the public here that is here to comment on this application, specifically what was presented at tonight's meeting? If so, please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Going once. Going twice. Okay, closing public comment for the evening. Brian, you have the list of things from us. It would be good to know what your thoughts are in terms of timing, when you're going to wrap up with town engineer, resolve all the issues with the. I know you've been trying to be a good neighbor to work with your neighbors, but we didn't see this last time we were here was right around Memorial Day. So I want to keep a more steady cadence. I don't want to waste our time, but seems like we're marching in the right direction here. So I'd like to keep this going a little bit.
Mr. Chairman, to that end, would it be inappropriate to start thinking about conditions and O&M
O&M plan.
and O&M, and right, as far as you were talking about the cadence and keeping it going. I mean, I think we've got architecture, we've got them down from 13 to 8 units. I like the architect. We're really talking about minor issues and getting feedback from the town engineer. So I would think it'd be appropriate to start thinking about O&M and conditions.
Agreed. That's where my head's at. That's where I'm trying to drive this thing to.
Okay. And one of the other things, and I don't know what the point is, but you guys have talked about where you're putting the water lines in. I'd also like to know how you're doing irrigation, whether that's going to be a common water line to somewhere, or you're going to run irrigation from everybody's unit. I would like it to be a common, so that one person can't decide they're not going to water. It's the HOA needs to handle the water for the sprinkler and everywhere. So think about that as being part of your O&M and how that's being handled.
Got it. I'll start working on those, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Yeah. I have a
Mr. Chair.
list from tonight and from May too, so if you have any questions about what we've been asking, I can send them over to you.
Yeah, I've got a list too, and we'll speak to the neighbors about the wall and the issues we're dealing with them too.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just again, a couple more points if I may. So circling back on the lighting thing again, and this comes up and we just want to make sure, because it sounds like we got all the reps here on the team. It's just making sure, like, whatever those lights are going to be on the units, wherever they're going to be, that we have the specs for them, but also they're represented on the architecturals, right? So we know where they are, in addition to dryer vents and all the rest of it, right? What's going where? What are we going to see on the walls? What are the lights going to look like externally, along with the specs, right? We just want to see everything being consistently represented on the various plans. So, and then Brian, if you can just summarize again for everyone real quick, where are we with Concom and Planning Board on this?
They're waiting on town engineer. Yeah.
Okay,
Everyone's-
so they're still open as well. but-
They're open, yeah, we have to have everything open. So that's where we're at.
The
Yeah, it is
one
our
last thing
practice.
I just thought of,
Go ahead.
along with Dave's comments, are condensers and compressors. If these are going to be heat pumps or whatever, where are those units going, and who's going to be looking and hearing them?
Yep. Again, it seems like we're close, but just these details, getting it all buttoned up. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
No, all good stuff. So Brian, any estimate, I know I don't want to put you on the spot there because you're reliant on other people, but what are you thinking in terms of timing?
I think now that you moved your meeting to the 15th, I would say the 15th easily, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have enough to present, you think?
Oh, yeah, I do. And as you said, we want to keep this moving, so.
Okay.
Ready
Can
for
wait.
motion, Mr. Chair?
Yep, please.
So I move that we continue the matter at 154 and 158 Salem Street to our October 15th, 2025 meeting.
Second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. We'll see you on the 15th. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
On to
you.
new hearings. First
Thank
up,
you.
case 2613, 3 to 5 Middlesex Street. The application, Attorney McGrail, this is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail representing Justin Charos, 3-5 Middlesex Street.
Hey, Brian,
Yes,
can I stop you for 1 second? Can you just move your computer a little bit? All I see is your forehead.
oh, it's a big forehead too.
It is, which is what's so scary about all that's on my screen. They're much better. Thank
Bigger every
you.
year. Sorry about
Every time you went down to read, all we saw was the glow of the forehead.
Oh, yeah, that can, you better put your sunglasses on. Can you, is that better?
Yeah, much
Okay.
better. Thanks.
Sorry. Sorry
Brian,
about that.
Dave and I think it was fine.
Yeah. All right, so representing Mr. Charos, seeking a finding on Article 9, 150 of the bylaw to construct an addition onto an existing single-family dwelling. This, I think, is unique and pretty straightforward. So I'm going to start with the site plan. This is property at 3-5 Middlesex. It is unique. There's two single-family dwellings on this property grandfathered in, which we've confirmed with the building inspector. And what Mr. Charles is looking to do, he lives in 5. He's just looking to put an addition on the house. It's a finding. It's a legal non-conforming property. Obviously with the two single-family dwellings on it. And this doesn't meet the front setback at 17.3. It meets all the other setbacks. And as you can see, the addition on this house is not going any closer to Middlesex Street. I didn't even have Ed Farrell at the expense put the lot coverage or open areas, not even close on this. So we're not seeking any finding in that regard. And the addition, I'll show you the architectural plan that goes with that.
So Brian, do you know why Benny put this to us? Because he can.
It's pretty unique. I mean, he can defer it. I mean, you've got 2 single-family dwellings on one lot, so.
So is that kind of,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the architectural issue,
Correct,
more
yeah.
of the lot and everything that.
No, and this is just a pretty basic, addition he's putting on to kind of match the house and just make it more livable. Front elevation, side and back, and then this is the addition. So he's putting in, you can see the existing layout. He wants to put a family room in, a closet, and then upstairs a bedroom with some storage and another bath. So I would suggest that this is an easy first prong finding, and obviously I always request the belt and suspenders with it.
Okay, with that, we do have some correspondence from town departments. One from Deputy Chief Tom Purcell. Fire department has no objections. One from civil engineer Eric Sherman. Just the standard, Brian, the I&I fee for the additional bedroom.
Yep.
So that's all we've had from town departments. Questions, comments from the board?
Pretty straightforward to me.
Yep, I don't want to belabor it, so if we
Nope.
don't have questions or concerns, I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to the public. Anybody else from the board before I do that? All right, hearing seeing none. Is there someone here from the public that would like to testify about this application and what was presented tonight? Please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Small crowd tonight, so I'm not seeing any. Going once, going twice. Public comments closed. Back to the board. Pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chair, I move that we, sorry, making sure I'm off mute. I move that we find that the proposed alterations, reconstruction, and changes at 3 and 5 Middlesex Street in accordance with the plans presented this evening. Site plan from Edward J. Farrell dated April 18th, 2025, and the architectural from Clark Architectural dated June 12th, 2025. Shall not increase the existing non-conforming nature of the structure and the lot. But even if someone were to find that said changes, extensions, and reconstructions and alterations at that address in accordance with the plans would increase the non-conforming nature of the lot or structure, we find that they shall not be substantially more detrimental than the existing nonconformities to the neighborhood.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none, regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Matter is approved. All right,
Thank you.
next. Yep, next up, case 26-14. 442 Water Street, Attorney McGrail.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail representing ML Water Street LLC. Property is at 442 Water Street. This is a request for a variance under Article 13, Section 19080 of the bylaw from the requirements of Article 13 relating to signage on the property. Here with me tonight on behalf of ML Water Street LLC is Paul Reska. Paul is the one of the owners of ML, the majority owner of ML Water Street LLC, and the owner of the property. Mr. Reska has purchased this property recently. Property is at not at the exact intersection of, I think probably the best way to do this is to just bring it up on the GIS. Because this will probably give you a good contrast. It will probably be of the way it looked before Paul purchased the property.
Long time Tarpey Insurance.
Yeah. So this will give you a good idea of the location of the property. It's at the intersect. This is Water Street heading towards Saugus, Montrose Ave on the left. This is the gas station right next door. And so you can see the improvements that Paul has done to this property. He's invested a ton of money. He did a beautiful job. No shunt to the top. He's a good friend of Mark's, but this is certainly an upgrade. That's happened. There's some residential units that were above that have been updated. Paul, these are 3 commercial units. Paul owns a company called Mass Lock. He's going to have his company here, which locksmith business, and then he's got 2 other rental units. And this the sign, the Tarpey sign, has been here, and this is what we're looking to replace in the same location. But as I go to the sign, take note, if you will, of the wood type material, hardy plank siding here, and then also the stucco, because there's a theme that Paul's trying to create here to match what's happened. Okay. So the first thing we submitted for the board is a sign. I call it the sign site plan. These freestanding signs have to be 8 feet back from the street. So this is already 10 feet back, and I just wanted to show that because we're not changing the location of the sign. So this is the Tarpey sign on the left, as you can see. It's I don't even know if the clock works anymore, but in any event, you can see it's in this brick planter. So this base that Paul is showing here, this is the stucco. He wants to keep this base and keep it in this planter, but he wants to stucco it to match the building. This hardy plank type material matches what's on the building. So, the sign company can only do so good a job with it, but that is the theme. Because you're at an intersection here and you have a lot of traffic coming, so, people are coming from Saugus, you get the gas station kind of blocking this site. So if people are looking for these retail addresses of 442, this is important to have this up high. This sign is only it's about 32 square feet. So if Paul wanted to lower this, he could do this by right. because it meets the 8-foot setback. So the variance really relates to the height and a couple of square feet on the signage box. And so currently, when you compare it, the top east sign is 15 feet high. This is being requested to go to 16.2, which really has to do with the number at the top. The size of the box, if you will, is the same. It's just a different dimension. Toppy's was kind of taller, and this is more in the other direction. So they're both 64 and 72 going in different directions. This is some detail on the sign. And Paul's leaving space. He's hoping to get some good tenants in here now that the building has been updated and upgraded. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. We think it's been a significant improvement to this whole area so far, and we think that this will just add to it instead of doing some not real tasteful refacing of the sign that's there, which he could do right now. It's just better to replace the whole thing. Happy to answer any questions that the board has.
Okay. Comments, questions from the board?
Brian, did you say the variance is really only for the height?
Yeah, it's for the height. Yep.
Okay, because the sign is
And
basically the same
the size
dimension,
of the
just
sign. So in the size of the sign too, Dave, because it's 2 square feet over. I'll read the relevant section of the bylaw for the board.
no, I thought you said it was the same size as the other one, just the dimensions were flipped.
Yeah, the other one doesn't, but this is a new sign, so
Okay,
so what it says on freestanding signs are allowed the businesses, each lot may have one sign 30 square feet in area, no more than 6 feet in height, in which must be set back no less than 8 feet from the right of way. If the building's 100 feet back, then you can go to 50 square feet. We're not 100 feet back.
okay, so it's 30 square feet, and how big's the sign?
It's 32 square feet, and the height of the sign is 16.2.
Whereas 15 is required.
Really, 6 is required on the height.
Oh, 6, I thought you said it was, okay.
Yeah, let me just look again, Dave, just to make sure. Yeah, lot may have 130 square foot in area and no more than 6 feet in height.
10 feet away or 8 feet away.
8
We're
feet
10.
away. Yeah,
Okay.
so it meets the setback as I showed you from the site plan.
Right.
Doesn't meet the square footage or the height, but the height in this area, if you had an 8 foot, if you had a 6 foot sign, it wouldn't do you any good.
Okay, I just want to be clear on it. Thank you.
Brian,
Seems reasonable. I have no issues with it. Just want to clarify the criteria here. Thanks.
Brian, is that sign double-sided?
Yes,
Okay, and then so in the detail it said internally illuminated LED sign.
yes.
How bright is that? Because if he doesn't have a future tenant on those bottom middle one and bottom two, is that gonna be the giant like lit box until he has a tenant and the signage on it?
Yeah, I think he could put panels in there that would not be, just blank panels. Paul, do you have any
Yes.
input?
Yes,
If you
we
can
could put
identify-
black.
Paul, just identify yourself for the record if you
Oh,
could.
yes, this is Paul Resker. I'm the owner of ML Water Street LLC. And yes, we could put blank black panels in there until we do find a tenant, so it wouldn't be too bright.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the other thing I would be interested in is, does this need to be lit all night, or can we have hours of operation on it? Can it shut down at 11 or
Yes.
something like that to just be reasonable, so we're not got a street light going from a sign.
Absolutely. That's something, Brian, that we could definitely do. There's no need for it to be all night.
What would you want
whatever.
it to be, Paul?
So there's
Whatever the board recommends. I mean, 9, 10 p.m. Maybe.
Chip, the bylaw currently provides signs shall not be illuminated between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. unless the related establishment operates between those hours.
Yeah, so I just have it be that.
Yes.
that we meet the bylaw. And then the other question I have is, how do we make it so that the future tenants, I mean, I know you have a logo for Mass Lock and the safe, but how do we make it so that it's tasteful when you get 3 new tenants and it's not just, you know, all
Well,
over the place, like somebody has a purple sign and somebody has a green sign, and that how do you control what goes up there?
that's a great point. I'm sure that I could incorporate something into the lease. I mean, obviously, my business is going to be there, so I want to keep an eye on it and have it be tasteful with the investment that I made. So that's a good point. We'd probably have to work on something with the lease on that. But you know, the future business, if they have their colors, I'm sure they'd want to stick to those. But I would like it to be simple, like how I have mine, just a basic logo. You know, it doesn't have to be a busy, complicated sign
And Paul, what's happening on the building? For
on the
sign-
build.
We're either gonna meet the bylaw, Chip, or come back, because we don't know yet.
Do you know where at least where you're thinking about putting it?
Well, my space. So actually, I'm the far right side of the building. If you're looking at it,
By the
so
handicap ramp?
yes. So I have another business, another location in Malden. So on the right side is going to be my office, and the double set of doors on the right, that's
Right
going to
here.
be my retail store. So above that door, some type of signage to conform. We didn't actually get that far yet. The building was a pretty big undertaking, so it's sort
I
of step by step here.
So again, I just want to be consistent above. You've got a nice sign. I'd call it a sign ban with the stucco above the board, above the door, below
Yes,
the wood. So
right. So
meet,
I would
meet
incorporate,
the bylaw by the square feet, and you don't even have to come back.
yes,
I think board member Tabell's bringing up a good point on the freestanding sign, Paul. You don't want like crazy colors that just take away from your whole building.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I feel the same way. I mean, I like everything simple and to look good. I'm going to be there every day, so I'm going to make sure of that for sure. So we'll come up with a plan. I'll deal with sign art. I'm sure I could probably push the new tenants to use the same sign company. So
Yeah,
he
and
could
I'd
help
try
with
to
that.
make it. Unfortunately, we don't have control over it if you meet the sign bylaw.
Right.
So you know, colors and stuff like that, we don't have control of. But for the look of that building, you've done such a nice job. You don't want to screw it up with signage.
Right. Agree. Agree.
Okay, anybody else? All right, seeing none, I'm gonna open it up to the public. Is there any member of the public that's here tonight to testify on this application and the information that you saw tonight? Going once, twice. Closing public comment, back to the board, pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we grant a variance pursuant to Article 13, Section 19080 of the Wakefield zoning bylaw from the requirements of Article 13 of the bylaw pertaining to signage requirements as shown on the plans presented to us this evening from the site plan from Floral Associates dated January 18th, 2002, and the sign plan from Sign Art dated June 18th, 2025. Varying the requirements related to the height of the proposed freestanding sign from the required 6 feet in the bylaw to 16.2 feet as shown in the plan, and from the 30 square foot dimensional size of the required sign to be 32 square feet as shown on the sign plan. No conditions, because as long as you meet the lighting conditions of the bylaw, then we don't have to stipulate a condition, right? I don't believe on when the lights are off. So as long as you're willing to do that, I don't think we need a condition for it. So that is my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing, seeing none, regular board members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip, Chip, you muted yourself.
Oh, geez. Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
I vote yes as well. That's unanimous. Good luck, Mr. Reska. Good job on the building.
All right, thank you.
Looks good. Good luck.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Next up, case 2615, 7 Park Avenue.
That's me also, Mr. Chair, Attorney Brian
Okay.
McGrail representing K&E Matthews Realty Trust, property is 7 Park Avenue. This is a request for modification of an very old variance, which I'll get into the detail of. I think I'd like to start by showing you the property and familiarizing you with it, location. So this is 7 Park Ave. You can see my screen?
Yep.
Great. So this is the property on Park Ave as you come off at Chestnut Street through the gates. This is kind of at the bottom before you would take a left on Dell and head up Converse Street. And for some of us that live in this area, we're probably familiar with this. So this is Dell, which leads to the senior center. So if you come out, the senior center is down here. As you come out, there's kind of like a paper street, I call it. It's a little bit developed, but the only 2 people that use it are this property, the subject property at 7, and the neighbors. And what you'll see back here is you can see that an addition was put on the house in the late 80s. It has a garage, and there's also something back here. It's a small outbuilding. I'm going to zoom in. It's referred to, at one point it was a garage, but the Matthews changed it more into like a shed. It's pretty cute building. It's got antique stone foundation to it, and they just use it just to store things in a little workshop. It really doesn't bother anybody. It sits way back. The neighbors actually, as you can see, they have a shed back here too. So it's all everything's fine. The only thing that is happening is the Matthews are considering at their stage in life to potentially be selling the property, and is getting ready for it. They recognized that they got a variance to put that addition on in the back, going back to I'm going to bring it up on the screen. Back to 1988. You can see it here. So Kenton Eleanor Matthews. This goes back so far, Mr. Beard wasn't even on the board. And what they got was, as you can see, they purchased it in 1972, single family home with a detached garage. And they wanted to construct an attached 2-car garage with a loft. In order to do so, they sought a rear setback variance. So to cut to the chase, they were granted the variance, but the conditions are where it becomes problematic, and they really create a cloud on title. I've never seen conditions like this. So what it says is, based on the foregoing, they voted to approve the variance with the following conditions: that the garage, when constructed, not contain within it any livable space to the extent of the variance. So that's even hard to figure out what it is. I don't know what was meant by that and why that will be on there. Certainly that garage doesn't bother anybody. It's basically in the woods. So the first request is to respectfully ask that this impractical and confusing variance, which creates a cloud on title and certainly affects market value, be taken off by the board because it has no purpose or benefit. And the second, that the existing garage be removed within 1 year from the date of the completion of the new garage. Failure to remove the existing garage from the 1 year period would result in lapse of the variance, which makes no sense. I don't think that's legal to say, because when you pull the building permit, you've exercised the variance, so you can't lapse after you've already exercised. So in talking to the building inspector, he thought I should come here to clarify this with you and ask to get these removed. It would be a shame to take down that little cute outbuilding in the back. What would be the purpose of doing that? And, you know, I would argue it's no longer a garage, so it really, this condition really wouldn't be applicable to it because there is no garage here anymore because it's really been converted into a little shed type of thing. So the request is to remove these two conditions from this variance.
Okay, is that your presentation?
That's it. I'm happy to answer any questions or go back to
Okay.
you know, the
Just before we go to the board, letter from the Deputy Fire Chief Purcell. Obviously doesn't have any comments. Record from correspondence from Eric Sherman, one of the civil engineers with the DPW. No comment other than if you're going to create livable space, you gotta pay the I-9 fee. So nothing substantive there. Board members, questions, comments?
So yes, Mr. Chair, driving through by this property probably on a bi-daily basis. The back shed is a shed. There are actually on all three properties very similar buildings at very similar distances from the houses. It makes no sense to make them tear that down. Secondly, the way that the garage is built, there's a full story above the garage. And it would shock me if it wasn't already being used. So you know, it's not a small little loft. It's a full second story on the building. If you notice this, the you know, the windows and everything else. So I have, you know, it's not looking down on into any neighbors. Certainly could be used for living space, whether it's a family room, playroom, office, whatever. It would be appropriate and probably allowed if they were trying. I have no understanding on why this potentially was, that condition was put on this variance. I can't figure it out.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I was trying to think along the same lines, Chip. I mean, if they were going to put on a two-car garage with a loft, they probably didn't want it turning into living space, right? So they put a condition on that and tear down the old one. Again, I wasn't here. I'm just speculating, right? But you're saying they did build the other garage, right?
Yeah, yeah, let me show you
That's
that.
the picture they just showed.
Yeah.
Right. So they built the other garage.
Back here.
And so,
Yeah, it's all
right. So if that condition didn't go away, it means that could never be used for living space above there. So it couldn't be an ADU, it couldn't be anything. Correct, Brian?
Right, it's a cloud. I mean, and plus, if you look the way it's written, Dave and Chip, and board members, I'm just gonna bring it back up again. Because,
makes no sense how it's written.
yeah, it gets even more confusing because
I'm just looking at one.
because what it says is, it says the garage, so it doesn't say above the garage. It says that the garage, when constructed, not contain within it any livable space. So I will make the argument you can live above it. You can use above it because that's not the garage. But you could argue, no, the real intent was, you know, that whole addition over the garage, and that's why it just creates a cloud on the title, which really certainly affects marketing for people, what they might be able to do with it and not do with it.
Understood.
And then it creates a problem for the building inspector being able to issue a building permit to do work on it.
Okay. No, thank you for the clarification. So, and procedurally, this can be handled by modifying. I mean, I know we've modified existing special permits, right? We do minor mods and we can modify a variance. I don't think we do them very often.
You can,
So,
with notice, public hearing,
yep.
Yep.
And we can remove conditions from a variance.
you can.
Okay. All right.
Anybody else? All right. I'll just say, I'm in that neighborhood too. I've never even noticed the garage or the shed. I've driven by there 5 million times. Anyway, with that, I'm going to open it up at this point to members of the public. Is there a member of the public that is here would like to add some testimony regarding this application? If so, please use the raised hand function in Zoom. Going once, twice. Public comment is closed. Pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chair, I move that we modify the variance at the property located at 7 Park Avenue that was granted by the Board of Appeals back in February 1988. It looks like maybe clocked in March 1988. To remove the 2 conditions as requested by the applicant. Do you need me to detail them, Brian, or is that sufficient?
No, that's fine.
Okay. That's the motion, Mr. Chair.
Seconded.
Good, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing seeing none. Regular voting members, Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi?
Yes.
I vote yes, that's unanimous. All right, next up, case 2616 148 Parker Road.
Let me just get my bearings if I can. Mr. Chair, for the record, Attorney Brian McGrail representing Marcos Arado and Solomar Arado regarding their property at 148 Parker Road. This is an application for a special permit pursuant to Article 4, Section 190.22 of the bylaw for relief from the requirements of Article 6, Table 2 of the bylaw related to an accessory dwelling unit, in particularly setbacks, and to the extent necessary site plan review. I've subsequent to the filing of the application have determined with the building department that site plan review is not required. So this is now only a request for a special permit. I'll start by getting the property up on the screen.
So site plan review is not necessary because you're within the half mile?
Yes.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, this is 148 Parker Road. If you're heading down Parker Road from Prospect Street, this is my cursor. You go underneath 128. We're going towards Reading, the Reading Railroad crossing, where you come out near the McDonald's and Walgreens. Before you get there, you have Griffin Drive on the left, and then this is the property at the corner of Parker Road. You can see the property situated here, and it's got a pretty big backyard. So let me take you to this property. This property was rebuilt. So now it's a colonial, 2-story colonial. This is old, but it gives you an idea of the location. And I have the site plan and architectural plans.
Boy, that's really old, Brian.
Yeah, that's old. I mean, that house is gone. So
Tom, how old is it?
I don't know. A lot of post-World War II tapes down in there.
okay. So I'm going to share the site plan first, now that you're familiarized. So this is now, it's a colonial. You'll see from pictures on the architectural plans when I bring them up, that was rebuilt, for lack of a better term. And what they're proposing to do is to put an addition on. That part of it will be an ADU, part of it will be incorporated into the house. It's proposed to have 3 garages underneath, which you'll see. And everything meets the requirements. As you know, when you front 2 streets, you have to meet the front setback for both. This is a grandfathered setback here. And then, so it has the frontage on Parker Road, but it does meet the current 20-foot setback, including the addition on Griffin Road. We potentially could make an argument that we have frontage on Griffin Road, so this is our front setback. Where the potential deficiency here is the setback here. 17.4. Parker Road being the frontage, this will be required, as you know, would be a rear setback, would be required to be 25 feet. If we wanted to reconfigure and make the argument that our frontage is here, then, we would only have a 15-foot setback requirement. But it's based on the historical frontage on Parker Road. You can see that as far as the building coverage goes, the maximum building coverage is 30%. The existing building coverage is 12. This will go up to 26%, which will still meet the requirements under the single residence district. Minimum open area requirement is 40%. The existing is 72. This will have 66% open area. So, there's no relief needed for that. It solely relates to this setback of 17.4. So with that said, I'm going to share the architectural plans. Okay. So first of all, I think it's important to note that the ADU being proposed is 820 square feet. So it's under the 900 feet. And I think, the board knows with the new state law that's gone into effect, accessory dwelling units, in our bylaw, ADUs are allowed by right in town. And there's a provision in our bylaw, if you do not meet one of the dimensional requirements, you're entitled to apply for a special permit for release. So it has a special permit standard, not a variance standard. So that's the first component. The total, I'm gonna try to make you dizzy. The total square footage is calculated 3,092 square feet. The attic should not be included. That's excluded with gross floor area. But if you take the 3,092 minus the 459, 2633 divided by 2, you could, basically what it says is you can have half of the gross floor area for ADU, which will be 1,316 square feet, or 900 square feet, whichever is less. So obviously the 800 and I think it was 32 that we're proposing is, I'm sorry, 820 is well within the requirement. So I'm trying to make it dizzy here. Just trying to get to the appropriate sheets because these are very detailed construction plans. Let me get to, so yeah, so this is the existing layout of the house, if you will. This is the front, basement. Well, this is, I should say, that's a basement, first floor, second floor, and attic space. So this is what's being proposed here this is the house. There'll be a connection addition here. And on the first floor, there's 3-car garage. And on the second floor is the 820 square foot ADU.
You don't have to count that breezeway as
Not
footage.
not part of the ADU. Nope. So this would be part of the main house. ADU is up here, 3-car garage. So now I'm going to take you to our bylaw. And this is our bylaw. So we meet all the requirements, and then I've highlighted the relevant provision. An applicant may request from limitations set forth in this bylaw, including regarding gross floor area and setbacks, by seeking a special permit from the zoning board of appeals, provided that no special permit shall allow for more than one ADU on a lot. The zoning board of appeals shall not impose any conditions in conflict of 760 CMR 71.03, which you're familiar with, which, you know, with all due respect, does not give a lot of leeway when it comes to ADUs. These have been mandated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, not by the town, not locally, by the state. So now you go to, you know, our standards of special permit. So, you know, the first is a use requested on the table of use regulations, obviously. Is a requested use essential, desirable to public convenience or welfare? I would argue that that was the purpose of the ADU statute that was put in by the state legislature and the governor. The requested use will not create or add undue traffic congestion or impair pedestrian safety. I think that's pretty obvious. The requested use will not overload any public water drainage or sewer system or other municipal system for such an extent that the requested use or any developed use in the immediate area or in any other area of town will be unduly subjected to hazards affecting health, safety, or general welfare. 5, the requested use will not impair the integrity or character of the district or adjoining districts and not be detrimental to the public health or convenience. And again, that's a requested use. So, you know, the ADU use, there's really no discretion. The Commonwealth has really made that determination for you. And the requested use will not by its addition to a neighborhood cause an excess of that particular use that could be detrimental to the character of the neighborhood. You know, and I think the board knows this, and I state this just because it's a fact that, you know, these ADUs and the regulations and the ability to build them are a state mandate. And I think, you know, the board knows it, that there's just not a lot of latitude on regulating these. And I think, you know, what we're looking for a setback is reasonable. When you look at that, you know, you could deem it a side setback, 15 feet required. It's not like we're going 5 feet to the property line. We're asking to go 17.
Okay, is that your presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, just for the record, a couple correspondence from town departments. One from Deputy Chief Purcell, the fire department, has no problem with this. Then one from Eric Sherman, from civil engineer for the DPW. Again, the I&I fee. Brian, what, you know, I see 2 hands up, but you're arguing here for an ADU, right?
Mhm.
And there's more to this than the ADU. What is in that space in between the garage and the ADU? Because here for the setback, right? So it's what's going in that space that you couldn't kind of truncate it and not even be here? You know what space I'm talking about?
I'm getting there. Yeah.
To the existing home. So it's not really part of the ADU. It's more of a connector between what will be the new structure and existing home.
Yeah, let me share it. It's labeled a breezeway. It's really creating, you know, entrances and coordination between the 2 units, but, you know, but it's not part of the ATU. You're correct.
Okay. It needs to be that big by code?
Marco, are you on, my client? Because he's part of the design on this.
Yeah, I'm here.
Could you answer that for the chair?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Well, first of all, identify yourself, Marcos, just for the record, please.
Yeah, I'm Marcos Arado, owner of 148 Barco Road in Wakefield.
Question is that breezeway, does it have to be the dimension that it is, particularly the length where you're seeking a rear setback? Do you need all that space? What I was asking your attorney is it required by code? Because if you could remove 8 feet from that, you could do this as of right.
But then it's gonna be really tight to getting from the street to the door, and then there will be a stairs, and my kitchen door, it's right there as you see it entered to the house.
Yeah.
So we need some space to get there, and then now it's a porch, so it'll be nice to have, the breezeway to kind of get some. I'm a gardener, so it's my plan to have like inside house, little garden to have all my plants and the things that I like to do it. This is gonna be my retired house. So, and the space from these stairs to get to the door and to the kitchen door, it's kind of needed. It's gonna be little tight.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but I was just wondering if there was a way out without even needing a special permit here before we got really into it. Chip, you had your hand up first.
I think I'm following you as well, Mr. Chair. I think you can redesign this and not need a special permit. I'm not in favor of providing a special permit for ADUs for setbacks. I think, you can lose a garage bay, you can make it deeper. There's lots of things you can do not to request a setback for a side yard. Lots of ways to redo this. This is a very simple rectangular addition onto a house. I don't think we need to provide or should provide special permits for setbacks. That's my personal opinion.
Okay, Dave, I saw you had your hand up at 1.2.
Yeah, I was just going to read my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I know he went through the criteria, but again, this could be, as you've already pointed out, this could be done in a way such that you wouldn't need to be here. You'd be able to do it by right, essentially.
Yeah.
And I remember when we went through the ADU bylaw and reviewed it, we were adamant that we needed to ensure that there was some control and that had to meet the existing dimensional regulations of our bylaw. And if not, they had to come for a special permit. But we've done a few of these already and they've been reasonable. And I think most have been within the existing structure. Maybe one's been exterior now, but this is part of a much larger addition, and it could be done by right if it was just more modest. I'd rather them see it go that way.
All right. Kasumi?
I'm piggybacking on that comment. Where is that stair? It said down goes to on the breezeway, because like right now existing, you don't have anything basement in that area, and then you have the main stair next to the garage up to the ADU, but you have another set of stair which one like go a couple of steps up to the breezeway, but you also have a downstairs. I don't know what are you making expanding the basement underneath the breezeway?
Yes. Yes. So there is a stairs going down, making the breezeway part of the basement.
But yeah, I agree with everybody else. Yeah, I don't know if that needs to be really that big breezeway.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
I think it's a pretty big addition for an ADU. I mean, I think the consensus, it's almost bigger than the house to me.
Well, they're doing it just as an ADU. It's a large addition. I appreciate he wants to retire here,
Yeah.
but it's a very large addition, and the ADU happens to be a component of it, but it's more to it than that.
It's a 3-bay garage under the ADU.
Right.
Yeah, that
Plus
seems like a lot.
A huge garage space under the ADU. I just don't think we should set. I personally don't believe we need to start creating special permits for side yard setbacks. And I get that if you looked at it a different way because it's a corner lot, but it almost seems out of place for the neighborhood to me as well. I don't think there are other additions that are this large in that neighborhood. So I'm not in favor of this project as designed.
Yeah, that's my point. I have no problem with putting an ADU and some garage space on there, but just the current configuration to ask this board to bail them out. When I think you could have a very fine addition and a nice ADU in the back of the house without relief from this board. So, if no one else has anything else that they're gonna say, I am gonna open it up to members of the public, if that's all right with board members.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, are there any members of the public here to testify regarding this application and the information that you were shown tonight? All right, I see Barbara Orlowitz. Sorry if I'm massacring your name.
Nope, that's right. It's Barbara and Ben Orlowitz. Hi. We live at 49 Putnam Avenue, right next door. And in back of the property. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I'm concerned about this application because I believe the property already functions effectively as a 2-unit dwelling, and the proposed expansion would effectively create a multifamily use that would intensify the impacts without adequate compliance. Also, there seems to be some missing code compliant revisions and verifications that I'll just mention briefly. But regarding the ADU, what I perceive as an existing ADU, I know one is allowed by bylaws, not two. And based on what we've observed and what's on the plans, the house appears to already have an ADU with a separate self-contained unit in the basement. The plans show the effect of conversion that they did, turning the bulkhead into a full-height enclosed foyer entrance. That was done in the past. That foyer provides regular entry and exit directly to the basement. In the plans, in the basement area, there's a kitchen area with a refrigerator and sink. If you add a simple hot plate or combo convection microwave oven, both common plug-in appliances, this becomes a fully functional kitchen. The plan in the basement labels an open room, but it's actually an enclosed by a door and adjoins a bathroom and large closets, which are features typical of a separate unit. And over the past year, maybe 2 years, whatever, many times around 4:30 or 5 a.m., I've seen the outside lights come on by the basement and a person exiting the basement and going to the driveway, directly to the driveway and leaving in a truck, presumably for work. So I believe all this is consistent with an independent occupancy already. So I wanted to state that. And then the application adds a new entrance on Griffin Drive that appears to be, you talked about a little bit that breezeway, kind of a multiple distribution point or a distribution point for multiple interiors. So if combined with the basement foyer and a potential access under the breezeway, there are multiple pathways that could serve separate units. And by my count, I could be wrong, but I think there's a total of like 7 bedrooms available or used, far beyond kind of a simple house with an ADU. On the zoning side, just separately, I think the property is more than a half mile from public transportation. I take the T into Boston for work, and it's about a mile from here. But I'll leave that to, that's just a side comment. But a question about the 26% proposed coverage. I just want to make sure that it includes all the structures. That includes the deck, the concrete patio, the shed, and the 2 driveways. On the stormwater drainage front, there don't appear to be plans for drainage. So any expansion has to include a DPW-approved drainage plan that shows the roof runoff to infiltration, driveway runoff managed on site, and no discharge to the street or abutters like our property, and properly sized drywall. So that appears to be missing. Finally,
Well, I got to stop you there. If we could kind of keep to what's Here, the existing operation of the house and those things are beyond what we can do. But DPW did review this application and they really didn't have any comments, so.
Okay.
We gotta kind of stick to
Okay.
what's
Fine.
here.
Uh,
The setback, here about a setback. Right, the ADU is
Well,
almost as a,
okay, well, but if there's already an ADU, I don't,
yeah, we can't, well, I believe you and whatever, we can't take that in as evidence in this case. So let's stick with what was in the application.
okay, I guess I don't have anything, I mean, if it seems critical to me, so I don't want, and I don't think my neighbors want a multifamily house next door.
I don't,
I hear you, but we
all you have
gotta
to do
take,
is listen to our what we had to say about this application. Were you not listening for the last half hour?
Oh, I've been listening the entire meeting.
Then what part of this do you not, okay, I'm not gonna get into it.
What part of what I said don't you understand about what I observed?
You need to go to the building inspector for that. We don't have any jurisdiction over what's happening at their residence. All we're looking at is the setback.
Okay, I thought it was a zoning issue, but
The application in front of us.
The zoning issue.
I don't want to get in an argument. We're not the zoning enforcement arm of the town of Wakefield. We're here about a setback. And I do appreciate neighbors coming to testify, but it has to be about the zoning relief being sought, not the current operations of a building.
Where do you go for
okay,
relief?
well, that's all I have to say at this point. I guess for further relief, then you say we should talk to or I should talk to the zoning department.
Correct. If you feel that there's a multifamily type of use there, you should talk to the zoning.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Richard Galitis.
Hello. Yeah, I agree with most of what Ben said, all of what Ben said.
I'm sorry, could you just give me your address for the public record, please?
53 Putnam Ave.
Thank you.
I'd like to just point out in the neighborhood, which I would define as Parker from 128 to Reading, Griffin, Putnam, Karen, and Redfield. As I think it was, like one of you pointed out, is a post-war development that is all modest capes and ranches, but basically 50-50 capes and ranches. As you saw in the street view of that house, that was a very small ranch 8 or 10 years ago. It's now a colonial. It's nice. It's not the only one in the neighborhood that's gone that route. But I think the addition, which appears to me to be basically bigger than the actual house, is way too big for the neighborhood. So I would object to going over any legal line. And I think Ben actually brings up a very good point about, I mean, you can't have 2 ADUs. So I think that needs to be resolved before you can just jam this down our throats as an ADU. So
I don't think it's not this board's practice to jam anything down anybody's.
Well, that's okay. I didn't mean to word it that way, but you dismissed Ben. I mean, I think that's a legitimate question. It does. I mean, it appears to be multifamilies living there now. It's pretty clear to everyone in the neighborhood.
Richard, I didn't dismiss him. I can't take that testimony in as being accurate because we're not the zoning enforcement arm of the town of Wakefield.
Okay.
That's all.
So I agree with you guys and with the neighbors that I object to any variance as far as borders because it's way too big.
Okay, thank you.
I'm ready.
Next up, I see a Paul and Mary Rebicki.
Yes, good evening. My name is Paul Rybicki, 152 Parker Road. I'm sitting here with my wife, Mary.
Yep, hello.
And I just wanted to go on the record, thank the board for the tremendous insight about how extreme this project is. And I really am grateful for your professional response to a gigantic overreach. To go and put in the ADU, I wish him luck, do it as a right, just don't ask for a gross setback relief when you're supposed to have 25 feet and you only want 17. I will say briefly that I live 80 feet. I'm at 152 Park Road. I live 80 feet away from this house. It's already used for 2 families. That's not your role, but I'm ready to back up my neighbors. We already know that it's not a single family. I have never seen the owner of the house in my life. Never. And I've been here 37 years. So he may own it, but I don't think he lives there. So I don't know if that's relevant. I just want it to be known that it is not being used as a single family today. And we don't need the added density of a 3-car garage with a 41 foot by 25 foot addition on a 9,000 something square foot lot. So please redesign it, put it in by right, and we have no problem. Thank you so much for your professional handling of this.
Great, thank you. Appreciate you coming out tonight. Okay, anybody else? Okay, with that, I'm going to close public comment for tonight's hearing. Coming back to the board, Attorney McGrail, I think you've heard the sentiment of the board, which is also reflects the sentiment of the some of whom I believe are legal abutters. So you don't have the votes as far as I can tell. So I don't want to, we can leave this open. I'm going to suggest you go back and talk to your client about as of right and maybe reconfiguring this. If board members want to add something else with that, I think it's pretty straightforward, but
I would agree, Mr. Chair. I think it's up to them how they want to proceed.
we won't vote it down tonight, but we're certainly going to continue it. And again, under the current configuration, I didn't hear one person in favor of it, so.
Okay, so I think what we'd like to do is continue it. I think we've heard a lot of strong comment tonight. We've heard a lot of serious and strong accusations against my client, which I don't think a lot are accurate on that in that regard, but we'll explore those and our options with that. And I'd like to continue it until your October 15th meeting. And at that point, we would either, reconfigure or potentially withdraw it and potentially go a different route.
That sounds right. And for the neighbors that are on there, as I said, if you have these strong feelings, we're not the place to come to vet them. But you should go down to the zoning enforcement officer at town hall. Well, you can send an email. You can all sign it if you feel that strongly about it. So with that, looking for a motion from the board to continue.
Mr. Chair, I move that we continue the matter at 148 Parker Road to our October 15, 2025 hearing.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded.
I would add it under commentary just for the benefit of the neighbors. They won't be renoticed, just if they're unfamiliar with our procedures. So if we continue it, if the vote goes, which it likely will, just plan to come back because you won't be renoticed with a postcard or anything in the mail. Just
Good point, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay. Regular voting members then on continuance. Dave,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Matters continued to our hearing on October 15th. All right, next up is other.
Mr. Chair, I see
What's
a
that?
hand pop up late here, Linda Mildani. I don't know if you want to recognize it or not. I know we don't have testimony anymore, but.
Hi, Linda. Would we close the hearing for tonight if you're here to talk about 148 Parker Road? If you're here for another matter? Can I help you with something? Okay, maybe she didn't know she raised.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm sorry. I just want to know when we won't get notice of the next meeting.
No.
So it's 7 o'clock on October 15th. And how do we get the Zoom link?
On the town's website. if you go on the town's website, look under Board of Appeals, you'll be able to get to our agenda, and then there's a link on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, moving on to other matters.
So I didn't hear the answer because you.
Linda, can you, yeah, there you go. I hate hearing my own voice on that. Case 2239, 596 North Ave, 0 North Ave, Wakefield LLC, proposed project revision, signage, site and landscape plans.
Mr. Chair, I gotta recuse myself as before, so
I think if you all you gotta do
I'm
is
just gonna,
mute,
yeah,
and shut your camera off. We don't have to put you in a special room anymore, Joe.
some people might think otherwise, but
Well, that's in general.
Mr.
All
Chair,
right.
just before we get started, so this is 596 North Ave, right?
Yeah.
So we got these plans Monday, and I think we got some updates today.
Yep.
Haven't had a chance
Jesse,
to look at them.
okay. Well,
So-
that's my fault then, because Jesse wrote and I told him I thought it'd be okay.
Okay, I know we struggle when we get them late. Again, I was on vacation. I just came back, so I didn't even see them Monday until yesterday. But anyway, I don't want to hold things up. Please proceed. I don't know how much value I'm going to be able to insight I'm going to be able to provide. I just haven't had a chance to look at these plans, so that's why we asked them the week before. So, okay, back to you.
Okay. I don't see Jesse. Chris, I'm assuming you're here to take the lead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Can everyone hear me okay?
You can.
Yep, thank you. Attorney Jesse Schomer is tied up at another public hearing, and so we are helping each other out tonight, and I'm here to present a proposed notice of project change that Attorney Schomer submitted to the board earlier this week, as Member Hatfield just mentioned. And the purpose of the filing is to submit a final design for the project signage. And the result of the project signage also results in a slight adjustment to the site and landscaping based on the proposed location of the sign. And so what I'd like to do is just present the plan very quickly, just to explain to you what we're proposing to do. And to explain the late addition, we were back in front of the board back in April for a minor change, moving the transformer pad, you may remember. And for some reason in that plan set that we submitted on Monday, that previous change was left off by accident. And so that plan set on Monday was still showing the old transformer pad location. So we just corrected that. So that was the late submission. So I apologize for that. So with your permission, I'd just like to bring up a copy of the last plan that you're familiar with. Let me just share my screen real quick. Let me know when that comes up on the screen.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So this is the plan that the board last saw, the last time we got together back in April. To familiarize yourselves, we have the street line of North Ave out front, our building, and then we have this sidewalk that comes, let me zoom out a little bit. So again, just to refresh your memory, north arrow is up the plan this way. And so we have a west to east sidewalk that is a curved sidewalk that comes up off of the main sidewalk along North Ave. So this is the building sidewalk. It comes slightly uphill to the main entrance and then back downhill like this. This is our accessible route. And then the site design, the site design had incorporated another staircase at this location here. So what we would like to do for the proposed sign, this is the site change. The site change that we'd like to do is eliminate the staircase and place the sign there in its place. And I'll switch over to the proposed plan just so that you can see what that looks like. Did you see me click over to the new plan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if I zoom in here, this is our grading plan, so there's quite a bit more detail. You may recall that in front of the building, in order to address some stormwater related comments from DPW, we were collecting some of the surface runoff from the front of the site into a couple of small depressed areas here. And this is the area where the central staircase was previously located. We would like to remove that staircase. It doesn't really do anything really to affect our access to the front door. We still have access from the two sides, and maintain a slightly elevated flat surface here and place the sign right in there. And this is in the direction of traffic going east and west along North Ave. So positionally, that's what we would like to do with the sign. And in terms of landscaping, we did submit updated landscaping plans just to reflect the location of the sign and the elimination of the stairs. But the landscape plantings, the number and location, none of those things have changed. I'll show you the landscaping plan real quick in a couple of minutes because we did change one species to eliminate an invasive species that we identified previously, and I'll bring that to your attention in a minute. If I could just move on to the sign itself and running through the proposal. This is a sign that is on a stone foundation. So you can see the gray mist cap here with a jetty gray stone. That will be the base that will hold the sign element here, where we show some letters and numbers. So we see here the Elms, the name of the project, the Elms Residences, with the elevated feature here, half moon with a small tree. This material and face is a 1.5 inch white PVC, 1.5 inch thick white PVC signboard that'll be mounted to the stone foundation. The stone foundation also incorporates the address of 596 on the stone face below. And then the dimensions are shown on this plan. We show the dimensions of the stone base and then the various dimensions of the sign and the lettering, which measurements are summarized up here. And so when we take a look at the sign element, which is the white PVC, the emblem is approximately 1 square foot. The word "the Elms" covers just under 2 square feet. The residences under 1 square foot for a total square foot for the sign element of 6 square feet. It's a little bit less than that. In terms of the height of the sign, the majority of the sign element here, which is the stone base, sits 2 foot 8 inches above the ground surface. And then this half moon element here is a little bit higher at 3 foot 7 inches. The majority of it obviously is at this lower elevation. The street number at 596, which we dimension here, is just under 1 square foot. For illumination, what we'd like to do is to place 2 simple stationary ground-mounted lights facing the sign, one on each side, and that's depicted at this location here. And then going back to the comprehensive permit decision, Mr. Chairman, the entire section of the zoning bylaw that deals with signage, we requested a waiver from that section, which the board granted, but required us to come back for review and approval of our final site signage, which is why we're here tonight. And Jesse Schomer, Attorney Jesse Schomer, outlines in the letter that he submitted to the board that there are several types of changes to comprehensive permit plans that and gives examples of insubstantial changes. And we believe that this proposed change would be categorized and should be considered an insubstantial change. So this is what we have to present to the ZBA tonight, and I'll end my presentation there and be happy to answer any questions.
Just quick, you had mentioned some species change from an invasive species to something.
Oh, yes.
I don't think you covered that.
Yeah, thank you. Let me quickly show you the landscaping plan here. So the landscaping plan is multiple sheets, and the second sheet of the landscape plan shows the plantings. In One of the planting species that was proposed on the approved plan was a Chanticleer pear. There were 5 of them, and I'm going to just highlight them here. There were 3 Chanticleer pears proposed on this side of the building here, and then there were 2 proposed, 1 at each side of the front entrance. That's the 5. That and other pear trees that bear fruit, have been identified over the last several years as being invasive because birds and other animals can take their seeds and spread them, and they've been taking over areas and pushing out other species. So we're proposing to change these 5 trees from the Chanticleer pear to a red obelisk beech tree. And so that's the only change to the landscaping plan.
Okay, thank you. Comments, questions from board members? Chip, love to hear your thoughts on the tree change too.
Chris, can you tell me how big that beech tree grows?
Let's just take a look at the list here to see.
I don't think it's columnar. So I think you're trying to put a beech, which usually is a very big mature tree, in between a driveway and a building. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Let's take a quick peek, and so the red obelisk beech has an intermediate growth rate that adds about 12 to 18 inches of growth annually, reaching a mature height of about 35 to 40 feet, with a narrow spread of 8 to 10 feet.
So if you look at where you're putting those trees, you're going to be hitting the building.
Can you see the plan still the way I'm identifying the locations?
Yeah.
Yep. So
you've got sidewalk there and you've got your building. Those trees are too big for there, in my opinion. But
So
more
what do you-
importantly, I'm dead against losing the stairway in front. We talked a lot about an entrance and coming off the sidewalk and walking up to the front of the building. And I think to replace it with a sign, my problem is that I think Jesse would argue, if he was here, that in a 40B, we don't have the right to call that whatever the phrase you would want to use.
Insubstantial.
Insubstantial, right.
Because it really is insubstantial. I guess what I'm frustrated at is we spent a lot of time designing the stairs, thinking about the front entrance, thinking about the curved driveway. So I'm against it.
Okay,
and I think you need to rethink the species of the trees.
So if I could address the species of the trees just real quick, the shape that Elliot Brundage, our landscape architect, chose here for the 5 trees. I'll just draw your attention to our site sidewalk here, which is right next to these trees here. This is a 5-foot wide sidewalk. And so you can see the spread of the tree is within the circle that Mr. Brundage depicts here. So it's not going to grow, against the building, if you will. It's going to be maintained within the circles that Elliot has drawn here. If the
I'll take a picture and show guys pruning it so you can see it in 10 years of how big it will get. But that's okay. I'm less interested in the type of trees as I am changing the whole front view of the building and the curved driveway and the staircase and all. I think that's dumbing down the front of this building that we spent a lot of time thinking about and designing. And I think the sign can go right or left of the staircase and not need to eliminate it at all.
Yep. So we've thought a lot about the sign. If I can switch over to the grading plan real quick, just to show you that the areas to the left and to the right of the sign are small depressed landscape areas that also serve a dual purpose of collecting a little bit of stormwater runoff from our curved sidewalk up above.
So how are you going to do that with a staircase?
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon, Chip?
How are you going to do that with the design staircase? You've changed the whole design and made those suppressions. Previously,
yeah, these were these were here before. Let me go back to the other plan, if that's okay, just to show you here. So the depressions, this was the previous plan, Mr. Tarbell, and these areas are the depressions on the other side of the staircase. So all we've done is just eliminated this one element here and then just placed, a sign at that location instead.
Chris, can I jump in also?
Sure.
Mr.
Thank you.
Lopez, if you could just identify yourself for the public record.
Sure. I'm Dana Lopez. I'm one of the principals of Zero North Ave, Wakefield LLC. So we had all intentions of putting the stairs in, and we've already added 2 telephone poles along the front of the property to get the wires up. But if you look at the plan, there's a telephone pole right in front of the staircase, and the guy wires come right into the stairs. And we had a Wakefield Light out there when working on the poles. We talked about trying to change these wires, and they said it'd be difficult, if not impossible, or would have to make them longer and go beyond over the stairs. So that pole comes diagonally across the street, and there's quite a few wires pulling that in that direction, the same direction as the guy wires. You can see the guy wires. So this just became a hazard. I mean, there's no way you could really do the stairs without moving these wires. And I guess it's a cable company wire, and there's a lot of stuff on it. So I don't think we would be able to move it. We originally were intention on putting the sign down by the entrance of the building. And when this came up, that we just decided this wasn't a feasible option. We talked to the architect. He spoke to code review. We do have the code. We are up to code with the 2 entrances coming in. But it's just, we talked about shifting the stairs off center. They didn't like it. It was not symmetrical with the rest of the building. So we thought this was a good option to eliminate it and put the sign there instead. So if you were to go to the site and look at it, you would see we got it staked out. It's really just impossible to have these stairs come down there. It's definitely a hazard.
And I guess it
Okay.
goes without saying the guy wire has to go in that direction. Can't go the other way.
No,
And
because
not at the
if you see
stairway?
the direction of the guy wire, Dave, that goes diagonally across the street, and everything is pulling from that pole across the street right in that direction. So we did talk to them about trying to change that. We talked to the electric light linemen that were out there, and they felt there's no way to really change those wires other than going longer and higher, and that would bring it out over the stairs, up, way into the property. So it just didn't seem like a good option. So this seemed like the best option. Put the sign, do landscaping around it, and kind of, there is a lot going on in front of the building. We do have all the stone columns around the front that will match this stone and the piers. So, I mean, we feel good about the change, but, just looking for your input.
I unfortunately don't think we have a lot of input from what you've presented. If you can't move the pole, you can't move the guide wire. It's not really, it's probably not under our purview if Jesse was here. He'd be arguing really hard, I think.
No, he laid it out in the letter. Kasumi, I see your hand up.
I have a question on, I'm not really a tree person, but it looks like you have the red maples on the 4 red maples, and then also left and right on the signage. Can you tell me how big those trees get?
The 4 trees out front.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just zoom out here. I just want to double check to make sure that those are red maples. So AR. Yeah, so if they are red maples, the tree itself gets very large. Let me just, but it also has a long trunk, right? So red maple.
They're a regular street tree. They probably get 35 to 50.
Yeah.
Okay. So
see what your Google
if the
says,
tree, if the tree get matured or get bigger, and then you're driving down North Avenue from either side, isn't that tree is gonna almost block the view of the signage, like right in the middle of where you have the the building numbers and the name of the building? Like I don't know how it, I don't know if you take a look at it.
The canopy's much higher on a red maple.
Okay, so
No.
but
It
like
would be, it'd be above the sign.
okay, so it won't really block in the, like
No.
you can still see the sign when you're driving down.
Yeah.
Okay. That was only my question.
I don't think we need to belabor this a whole lot longer, Tom, in my humble opinion.
And if you do have questions for Attorney Schomer, I believe he's on the call now.
That's right. Good evening, everybody. My apologies for being late. I was otherwise engaged at the Melrose Board of Appeals.
Oh, they're more important than us?
I was gonna say, we're much better than Melrose. you know,
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say.
Might want to think about which one.
Wow.
Not at all more important, just previously scheduled.
I've refereed some of my favorite basketball games against both of you guys. It's a great rivalry.
All right, any other comments, any questions for Attorney Schomer?
So in summary, Mr. Chair, again, just the changes are just to landscaping,
Well, it's removing the stairs,
removing the
installing
stairs
signage there,
and the
changing
landscaping.
out an invasive species of trees with something different.
And that's it.
Which is why I thought it was fine tonight, because I agreed that this, I don't think we have a lot of authority here. It's essentially, in my mind, insubstantial. So, but others can disagree.
No, I think if we had to listen to Jerry to Jesse for the last 20 minutes, we would have heard that. So I'm okay not having to have to listen to it. Can't help
Which
myself.
is why,
Sorry.
yeah, Dave, which is why I accepted it on a Monday. I didn't think there was going to be a lot here. So.
Okay, fair enough. And you know, hearing the element about the guide wire really restricting and what led to this, and not just, hey, we just rethought this, to Chip's point, and we did spend time on all this, right? But it, you know, maybe I missed that up front, but certainly having that information kind of, you know, add some perspective to it. So whatever. In my mind, yes, these specific changes in my mind would be considered insubstantial for the comprehensive permit. Insubstantial modifications.
Anybody else? Have to deem that, Jesse. I don't think we need to vote.
You do need to take
I
a
think
vote,
we do
Mr.
need
Chair.
to vote.
You don't need to issue a decision, but you can if you'd like to, and I'm happy to write one up for you if you do vote to find it insubstantial.
Okay, why don't we take that vote? If you could just put some wording together so we have something for the file. I
Certainly
think that'll
will.
be helpful for the folks down at the
Right, because
building
when we do finally go for occupancy, we're going to look at where's the staircase.
Okay, so.
All right, looking for a motion.
Well, Mr. Chair, again, sorry, I apologize. I'm gonna need a summary of the updated plans and dates. Because the motion is relatively straightforward, but it does reference, you know, the plans presented XYZ. And then we make a motion relative to those plans as presented. So can Jesse or Chris please just summarize the changes in the plans, the site and the landscape plans and the dates?
And the dates on the plans.
Sure. Let's. So the revisions to the site plans are dated September 13th, 2025.
By your company, right?
That's that by Williams and Sparagus, and it's the revision on our revision block states remove stairs, add sign. And then we have the revised planting plan from the Landscape Architect Office of Elliott Brundage. In that plan, is dated. Let's go back to the initial sheet here. Hold on just a second. I apologize. Yeah, Elliot's revision block is in a slightly different location. The landscape planting plan is revised September 23rd, 2025, in which Elliot added the transformer pad relocation.
In the adjusted species.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
In addition
ready,
to
Mr.
those,
Chair?
we also have the signage detail plan that's not dated.
That was its own plan. Let me just see.
That's right. The PDF has a file name, the Elms sign.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, okay. I remember you showing it, but it didn't have a sign company or a date on it, correct? Okay. Okay. That it?
Yes.
Okay. You ready, Mr. Chair?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Chair, pursuant to Massachusetts regulations, Title 760 CMR 56.05, Section 11 or Paragraph 11, I move that we find and determine that the proposed changes at 596 North Avenue, based on the plans presented to us this evening, the site update plan from Williams and Sparagus dated September 13th, 2025, landscape plan from Elliott Brundridge dated September 23rd, 2025, and the sign plan entitled The Elms are insubstantial changes to the previously approved comprehensive permit granted by this board. That is the motion.
Looking for a second. Assuming you want to second that?
I second it.
Okay,
Still
Chip,
free
beat you
consuming.
to it. All right,
Joe's
regular
on
voting
mute.
members
Mr.
and
Second is on
Kirsten.
mute.
Right. Any
Oh,
further
that's right.
discussion from the board?
Yeah.
Okay. Dave,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Kasumi,
Yes.
Kirsten,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Okay. If you can write that up for me, Jesse.
I will. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thank you.
All right, on to clerk board comments. Joe, welcome back.
Thanks. You guys seemed lost without me.
Well, we're counting on you. We're counting on you to go build a set of steps and get rid of a sign.
I won't comment, but yes, that whole thing was the guy wire. So it wasn't like they didn't want to do it. But anyways, I don't really have anything except I just got an email from the bylaw review committee that town meeting November 8th. I think there's 6 warrant articles going to be on it that pertain to the bylaw review committee. So other than that, I have nothing.
Well, I think I heard the last town council, they referred to planning board or something. So procedural, I think they had to refer them or something. And
Yeah,
so
there's
now
going
we
to
have a
be 2
planning board.
meetings.
Yeah.
October 14th and October 28th. There's going to be a couple meetings for public hearing on that, which is now I think it's now our scheduled meeting, right? Oh no, that's the day before. I'm
They're
sorry.
Tuesdays. Yeah, they're
Tuesdays. That's right. Never mind. So.
I think you guys talked about last meeting too. I think we're covered. I mean, if we want to go and say, hey, thanks for the changes, but most of our comments are in there. So
Yeah, almost all of them.
all right. Thanks for that, Joe. Thanks for all your work on the bylaw review committee. Any other comments from board members?
Saturday is a town day, so I'll be there if anyone else wants to join me.
Thank,
One-
I'll thank you in advance, Kasumi, for covering.
1 to 4.
Kasumi,
Wonderful.
again, I would join you if I were available, but I'm not. If you
I
want any of those
have,
materials that we had last year, if you need, because again, that,
Oh, I have all that. I updated all that, and then
Okay,
I
good.
printed stuff.
Okay, good.
Looks like I'm sharing. I might be sharing a table with planning board this year. I'm not sure what's going on. And then
I
I
think we have
bought.
before. We have before, yeah.
Okay, and then I bought Halloween candies and fall decorations and tablecloths and stuff. If anyone wants to join, 1 to 4 Saturday.
It all depends what kind of candy you bring.
All the the goodies on the Halloweens that the kids get. Yeah.
All right, thank you again for doing that. Anybody else?
So, Mr. Chair, through you, I don't know, maybe to Amy, when are we going to be able to do hybrid? What is stopping us from being back in person like every other board and committee in this town? Why can't we just announce it and make it part of our new normal and get on the schedule to be in the public safety building? Do we know
Yeah.
what's preventing us from just, does somebody have to give us an okay, or do we just,
Well,
the board say we're going to do it?
previously
and
the
start
town
announcing it?
manager did. Previously, the town manager did not want us doing it.
We have a
And
new one
this,
now,
now
right?
we have an interim, and the new one's arriving at the 1st of October. Not the first, but like the first week in October. So what we can do it, because to tell you the truth, I guess we're stuck with it. I'd rather just do fully in person.
Well, so what we do in the permanent building committee is it's in person, but also hybrid. So that if people want to make comment, we, just go and they can make public comment. But, for presentations, plans, all that, it's great to have a table set around it. And it works well. I mean, the screens are there, the system, I mean, between Dave and other people that know how to run those type of systems, it's really not difficult. It's a little laptop, a little screen that you get going on, and Amy doesn't even need to. It's a choice, so that if some of us are traveling or whatever, you can still make the meetings. I don't see why.
I never understood the
In all reality, Mr. Chair, I think it's your call. I don't think.
There was the whole governor's
I'll
orders thing, and I don't know, still don't fully understand what previous town administrators' hesitance was with us being treated or being handled differently, but I just don't see the reason for it anymore. I just don't. So I'd rather be in person and have the hybrid option, as you said, Chip. It works. Everyone else is doing it.
I'll make a point of it.
Okay. I mean, I know we got to notice it. We got to schedule time at the at the public safety building, where I don't know what their schedule.
It still all goes through Sherry, so it's not difficult.
Right. Just nobody else is using it that night, that it becomes our new normal for us to be in there on the nights we need to be there, and it's available and all that good stuff. So, all right, if you can just take it offline, maybe talk to Amy, you guys see, maybe by the first of the year, we just start doing it. I know the next couple of months are going to be a little up and down with the meeting schedules and so forth, but.
All right, I'll make that a priority.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Okay. Approval of minutes for September 10th. I'm going to abstain, but it can be a voice vote if you guys want to vote, those that were here.
So, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve the minutes from our September 10th, 2025 meeting with a minor adjustment. Amy, I don't know if you have them handy. I noted as I was going through the minutes, each hearing, you list who was present, who was not. In the first couple hearings, it said, Dave read the legal notice, which I did because Joe chaired. But then after that, after the first couple continuances, it said Chip read the legal notice. And Chip, I don't remember you reading any legal notices. I think I did them. So.
Okay.
So if you can just look at that. So I would say approval of the meeting minutes with the adjustment that the legal notice statements in there be adjusted or corrected, just to state that I read the legal notice for all the applications at that hearing. That's all. Other than that, the contents of the minutes were fine. It's just that one item, but it's repeated a few times. Might have been a copy paste thing. Who knows?
Probably. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay,
Second.
noting that I'm
Second.
abstaining, there's a second, noting that I'm abstaining, all those in favor on a voice vote?
Aye.
Yeah.
Motion to
So
adjourn,
the,
Mr. Chair.
Always in order. So we're gonna see each other, remember, it's October 15th,
Sounds good.
and we'll see
All
you all
right.
then. Thank you.
All right, good night, everybody.